Thank you all for coming tonight. We're so grateful that Frank DiMarco, the superintendent of the DPW, could be here and share with us all of the wonderful initiatives that they are doing to make the beautiful Village of Tuckahoe green. So I'm just going to introduce Frank and let him take it away.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Everybody ready for a green day?
Yes.
I'm not. All right. What is green? What is sustainable? You know, green is strictly is concerned with the environmental health, right? And sustainable is concerned with the environment's health, economic vitality, and social benefits. So they've come up with this new word called sustainability. So what does that mean? It's a mixture of being green and also being sustainable. Sustainable really means that being sustainable with all we do as far as being green from today, tomorrow, into perpetuity. And this is green, right? You think of green, this is what you think of. You think of trees, flowers. Believe it or not, this is right outside here. No one ever sees this. You know, it's funny when they take pictures, they're like, where is that place? But you know, it's right outside the library. It's right outside the house. This is what we do all winter long. We trim and prune our trees so they look like this come spring. This is not a great picture. I think this is after a team building event the night before. So we took this the next morning, but I'll get to that picture at the very end. And you'll appreciate this picture when we get to that one.
How many people work in DPW?
20, with seasonals 20. 21.
Look at this.
We like hiring them young, you know, we like hiring them. So we can train them to do what we really need them to do when they come aboard at DPW. Yeah, this was. Let me just go back a little bit. You know, I can't do what we do without them. They are my team. They are very resilient. They get along well together. They have their days. But all in all, they're a bunch of great guys. And, you know, I know a lot of other DPW departments, but the reason I speak highly of them is because I was able to mold them over the years. They allowed me to hire skilled trades, carpenters, electrician, machine operators. So it's really a really talented bunch of individuals. And we have sanitation truck drivers that are also machine operators, you know, so we're versatile. We could bounce them around when they need them in case of an emergency or a storm condition, inclement weather. I could pull guys from wherever they are and depend on them to handle the situation at that time.
So a lot of them can operate like the backhoe and.
Yeah, pretty much. A
Wow.
lot of them have been trained and operate a backhoe, bobcat, a lot of other pieces of machinery.
Question, like the guys who come around early, the trash collectors in the morning.
Mhm.
What do they do after they collect the trash? For the rest of their day?
We have them involved in cleaning parks, cleaning trash receptacles, and just keeping them busy for a couple hours. There's not really much time after they're done. You know, historically, they've always went home after they completed their route. But past 3 or 4, maybe 5 years, they're staying because they're a big asset. I mean, they're like a Wednesday is a full day for them. They don't take lunch or a break, so they go home at 1 o'clock. But other than that, they'll have another 2 or 3 hours for me at the end of every other day of the week.
And how many garbage trucks do we have in the village?
2. We have actually 3. One is a backup, north end, the south end, and a backup.
Gotcha.
And we're in. Good. With the teams, there comes a lot of stakeholders with that as well. You know, we have the planning board, we have the zoning board, we have TESH committee, right? We have 2 from TESH here today. Beautification committee, all these committees, you know, depending on the project that we're working, the library. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the projects that we work on, we do collaborative effort, you know, we really work hard at it. We sit down, we brainstorm, we draw plans, and we get going on it. I try to take the bureaucracy out of any project that we have, no matter where I am, whether it be here or when I was in business. I always try to make things simple, just make it work.
And you
Just
do.
put it on a drawing board and try to get it done. But this is my team. Him too. Public outreach is very big with us. You know, obviously this is part of public outreach, but We do a lot of public outreaching. As the slides go on, you'll see some of the outreach projects that we do. This is Tree City USA. This is Arbor Day that we usually do every year, but with COVID, we haven't. This is either Immaculate Conception or Coddle School. So the mayor and I would normally go there and give them seedlings and talk about Arbor Day, talk about trees, just educate them a little bit on what is Arbor Day. And they love it. I think I had a bigger kick out of it than they do. But there's myself. No, that's not me. I'm back there somewhere. Steve Eklund. I've got that look on my face for a reason. Everybody's probably saying, what is going on? Like I stepped on a thumbtack or something. But what I did is I pricked myself with a thorn. Yeah, so it did hurt. So they caught the moment. This is Furniture Share House. If you ever wanted to see a bunch of men cry, we went to Furniture Share House. But I wanted to make a point that they visited Furniture Share House. Now, Furniture Share House, everybody know what that is?
Not thoroughly, no.
It's taking furniture and beds and saving those for the needy, whether it be a fire victim, divorce case, those that are in need of furniture. I made sure that they had their tour when families were touring as well, looking for furniture. You never seen a bunch of men walk out crying. Yeah, it was really good. I wanted to do this and it worked. So as they're driving, they now look at a piece of furniture as something that someone could cherish and use. So
Now, Frank, what's the criteria if we had furniture?
Well,
And, to give to something like
Donate.
this, yeah, to
well,
donate.
they only take a select few pieces of furniture. The couches have to be a certain length so they could get it up to narrow stairways and in apartments, because they do deliver the furniture as well.
Do they have, like, is there something online that we could
Yes.
look up so
Mhm.
we would know what they accept and don't? It's on your website?
It's on the website.
Okay, great.
Most importantly, kitchen tables so that kids can sit and do their homework with chairs, bureaus for furniture, beds are even acceptable if they're in great condition. Bed frames are a big plus.
Yeah, is this stuff that people just put out on Monday night, bulk garbage night, and then the garbage men decide whether or not it should go to furniture?
Yeah, but please call me. If you have something that might be worth looking at, always give me or Joe a call.
Yeah, you really wouldn't want it sitting out there in the rain, so
Exactly.
That's the thing, so.
Exactly.
If it's something you're really thinking about, you may want to look at it while it's dry.
Yeah, I would like to educate more people on Furniture Share
Yeah.
House because I'm sure there's a lot of pieces of furniture that we could really take in.
Yeah.
And families
That's what I
can
was
use.
looking at. The garbage men make that decision when they see something, not just throw it in the truck, but say to come back and pick this up and bring it. It's at the Westchester County Airport, right?
This is an airplane hangar at Westchester County Airport.
But they don't pick up the same day as a garbage. They come on a separate day for pickup, furniture pick.
That's usually on a bulk pickup, which is Thursday, Tuesday.
Right.
Tuesday.
So you put it out
So I
there.
normally drive around and see what's out there. If you see something out that's worth it, we could even try to get it a little sooner than Thursday instead of leaving it out in inclement weather. These are some of the projects that we took on in Tuckahoe as a learning experience. So we're learning sustainable project. This is a bioswale. And those that don't know what a bioswale is, that we take rainwater and we try to feed vegetation with that. So if you look at the outlet here at the bottom, that's by the catch basin. There's an inlet up on top. So this is a hill. This is Jackson Avenue. So when water travels down this right side here, it'll find its way into the inlet, water all the shrubs and flowers in there, and then find its way out. Most of the time, it doesn't find its way out because, it's feeding the vegetation and perking into the ground. So this is a bioswale. So those that never heard of a bioswale, these are some of the projects that we need to incorporate in the village to get control of rainwater, stormwater runoff, which is a big problem here in Tuckahoe.
Did you say where it is, Frank?
This is Jackson Avenue,
Jackson Avenue? Where's Jackson? I don't know where Jackson is.
It's off of-
the hill by,
Off of Marbledale?
off of Marbledale.
Yeah. that's the one
The
that-
senior building was built.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a steep hill.
This is DPW facility. It's only 11 years old, so we were able to build that building to the left 11 years ago. In doing so, we just added some projects. To the left of that building, is rain garden. The natural water gets filtered and then also feeds the native vegetation that's in that area. And that's to the left of my building. Now to the right, we have cisterns that we take the rainwater that we collect in the summer months, spring, and we use that to irrigate all the flowers and vegetation. So we use rainwater to do that. And we have the mechanism figured out, so if we don't get rainwater, it introduces domestic water to give us a certain level. That we need to maintain a certain level all the time. And that's just a bad photo of an irrigation system. I couldn't get one working, so I got one that was just dormant. DPW Day, it's one of the things that we do every year.
It's
We
wonderful.
try to introduce everything that we do all year long. We have tables that are welcoming discussions and anything sustainable that we do, any project that we've done. Anybody could at any point ask any questions. You know, we have tables set up. The Tesh has their table set up, and we have tables set up for electric power equipment, battery operated power equipment, and a lot of these other projects that I'm going through the slides here with you today are also done that day. This desk,
Some familiar faces.
Mayor White, yes,
Mayor
passed away
White,
most
yeah.
recently. He was a great man. And, you know, if you haven't been to DPW Day, we have the truck set up, the kids love it, they're running in, beeping all the horns and trying to move the equipment, but I don't give them the keys. But I think the fathers enjoy beeping the horn more than the kids do. That's the funniest thing. I'll tell the kids stop it, but the husband is behind the wheel, honking the horn. And the beautification committee has their tables set up there as well. We have a DJ there, we got jumping castle. We got Elaine there singing along.
Hot dogs. It was
We
great.
have a library. I would say.
Library, yeah.
Fantastic.
These are some sustainable projects that we've taken on over the years that really people won't even realize that it's a sustainable project, but that blacktop is pervious pavement. What pervious pavement is that water could penetrate through it. There's a series of piping and gravel underneath this and fabric. And we also have catch basins along the end, but the funniest thing is that if it ever rains heavy, go to this location if you happen to be there. You'll never see water running off into the curb.
There
It all
is-
gets penetrated into the ground
Goes into the ground.
and collected. It gets filtered and collected into a basin.
This is near Stevens Green?
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
so this is pervious pavement, which is a special pavement with a series of piping going through it that filters and guides the water to another filtration system before it hits the Bronx River.
So you can get the oil, cars are dripping oil or whatever, that's.
Yeah, I mean, parking lots are very contaminated.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, there's parking lot services are really contaminated. They have every form of contaminant that you can think of that's on the surface of a parking lot, of a driveway, really.
Now, is this the only pervious
Yes.
parking lot?
Yeah, this was a grant with the it'll come to me. I
What's
think
the
it's
cost
one of
difference?
the awards that I'm showing on this as well. But that's a 6,000 gallon tank. That's called a stormwater water separator. There's a series of baffles in here. And what it does, it collects the water after being filtrated into the piping system through the fabric. It goes to this, and it goes through another series of decontamination. It's got mechanical baffles. There's nothing electrical and nothing moving around, but the mechanical baffles separate the particulate matter, separates oil and contaminants before it goes over to the Bronx River from here.
It's amazing.
So we have one here at the Fisher Avenue parking lot. We also have one at the DPW facility that does the same thing, because we have a lot of contaminants that run off our yard,
Right.
and this collects it. You know, we have a vac truck vacuuming all the contaminants out of this every 6 months. We need to take a record of that as well.
What's the price differential between a permeable asphalt and regular?
Well, permeable it'll allow water to penetrate through it. Unpermeable won't.
No, the cost differential in terms of,
Oh, cost difference?
Yeah.
Probably twice the amount.
Okay.
We were concerned about where, being a parking lot, because it goes down like popcorn. When they unload it off the truck, it feels weird. It's like popcorn. But if blacktop is a little heavier aggregate. But this was a little strange, but it's working. It's been several years and we really don't have any areas that are coming up as of yet.
So would you consider working these in, if you got grants to work them into other parking lots?
Yes,
When they'd have to be redone?
yeah, we'd love to.
Like, yeah,
Because it worked out well here. Worked out really well. It's a Soil and Water Conservation Achievement Award that we got for that. It was actually their grant as well. I was on a Soil and Water Conservation District for 4 years myself with their committee, so this was before I came over. So we got an award for this. But DPW has gotten numerous awards. We got proclamations, we've gotten so many awards for so many of the things that we've done over the years that, we proudly post them. We really do. Guys have done a great job.
Is that the ever running bunny on the side there, that pink,
What's that?
the ever running bunny on the side there, the pink?
Oh, with my finger, I think.
Remember the ever running bunny? Ever running bunny.
Did it come by? It might have. God, I got birth certificates that are as big as those proclamations. Anybody have the big birth certificates that like scrolls? What we've done is, we actually collect a lot of Tuckahoe stone. We have a lot of Tuckahoe stone in Tuckahoe, and this is one pier that we have found at the site where we collected up at the compost facility is where we store all of our stone. So we've been keeping this particular piece of stone for the segue into Tuckahoe from Tuckahoe Road. Has anybody seen that?
Yes.
So we went from this
Beautiful.
to this.
It's gorgeous.
Oh, beautiful.
And these are some of the things that we're doing in our gateway areas coming into Tuckahoe.
I know you wanted always to do the, from east along Columbus.
Dale Road.
Avenue, Dale Road.
Mhm.
But that doesn't look too inviting.
That's next on my list. I need to collect some funding somehow. But I'm working with the beautification committee, want to see it as well. They want to see that come to fruition. Anybody remember this? This is across from Village Hall.
Yes.
Parking lot, right?
So we're trying to create social equity, social gathering areas where people could sit, talk, chat, relax. This was one of those locations. This is what it looked like before we did any of the work. This was during construction. Obviously, that's all Tuckahoe stone that we used. So our mason at the time, Artie, had done both planters with a seating area on both sides. And that was the outcome.
beautiful.
And we have two. We have two mirroring each other, one on this side and one on the other side.
And I think donated by beautification, Tuckahoe Beautification donated money.
No, we did that on our own time, or used our own funding. We had the stone, we just needed, the laborers, the mason and the laborers. The beautification committee obviously comes around and does all the flowering and planting after we're done. Westwood Park, a lot of the projects we do have a plan. Regardless of what that plan is, this is how we start with some of these projects. And this is a small site. If you look at that plan, the plan seems very intricate, right? Yeah. Well, this is the site next to the Bagel Loft. This is what it looked like before we did anything. We had a bare area. And we wanted to do something with it. We wanted to create some type of a soft pocket park, a place of social gathering. I call it social equity. But this is the final outcome.
It's lovely.
So there's a lot of work that goes into these small locations.
Yes.
Plus,
That's
it's a lot
nice.
safer.
And safer. Yes, safer,
Safe.
yeah.
You have those pillars there where if anybody,
Stanchions.
Yeah, I mean, I had a hard time convincing the board that we needed all those pillars. But you know what happens, this is Lincoln Avenue.
Yeah.
As cars are strolling down here, I know many a times, because I lived up the block, how many cars have went errant here.
Yep.
And into that site, so
if you lose your brakes, you're in trouble.
you can lose anything and just
Yeah.
go right into whomever is sitting there.
Mm.
So to make it safe, you know, we went through code standards, you know, they're 5 feet apart, so no car could ever penetrate through them. Those are 8-inch ballards, they're tremendous, they go down probably 1.5 of what's sticking out at the top, so there's a lot of meat behind them.
That's great.
People respect it? No, don't.
Excuse me?
Do the residents respect the park and not leaving their debris around?
I think so, you know, we have it well lit at night, the police department doesn't want anything too lit up that'll create social gathering at night. You know, we do have families that live there. Obviously, there's an apartment building right there, and there's a new apartment building right across the way. But so far, it's been pretty good. The lights have been on. It's been pretty well lit at night. There hasn't been any issues. And
I'm sure it's nice for people coming off the train too, if they're waiting for somebody, they could sit and make a phone
Yeah.
call, or, you know, it's lit a little bit, so feels safe.
And obviously, this is here. You know, these are some of the projects that we work on as well. Again, meeting with the Mason, getting all this in the plan. Memorializing Mayor White there. And, you know, gathering some of the picnic tables, chairs. I mean, that was an effort that we all put together. I thought our heads to make this work. And it did. At the same time, I think we did the parking lot over at the time.
Mhm.
Sidewalks were all redone, and also the concrete apron coming into the parking lot. This is a project that we started. This is here at the library, right outside. It was a reading garden.
Yes.
So we have put the memorial bricks in place with the wall, semicircle seating area in the back. Then the landscaping started to come into play. And then since then, we had put up lighting, so it's really lit up well at night,
And irrigation too, right?
and irrigation as well, yes.
There's more bricks there, memorial bricks.
Tuckahoe Stone, you know, we did this for Bronxville. Kennedy lived in Bronxville, so they wanted to memorialize the fact that he lived there, so they created this plaque. And I think they took 2 of my biggest pieces of stone, besides the one I used as a pillow, but
Where is that?
that's at the municipal building,
Okay.
the Bronxville Municipal Building. If you're facing the building, it's over to the left. They created an area. to
Okay.
memorialize it.
Is that near the firehouse? That area?
Police station?
Yeah, near the police
Police
station, right?
fire.
Actual
if you're facing the building,
field.
Yeah,
it's to the left.
okay,
I think
Across from the
behind you,
library.
behind that is the firehouse.
gotcha.
And you can see behind that, you can see the fenced area, that's their community garden.
Nice.
That's why I took this. I knew you'd see that.
So that's one of our projects in the future.
And this is using anything that's green, anything sustainable. This is all recycled product that we're using in the parks. You know, the table, the chairs. And this is what we try to do. This is Yonkers Avenue, and the reason I'm bringing up Yonkers Avenue because I want to talk about my team. My team of men at DPW. We did this project when I first started here. This goes back. Oh God, I forgot when I started here. But anyway, this road was shifting into the river. Does everybody remember that?
Yeah.
The road was actually shifting into the river. The riverbank was giving away, and you can see all the cracks, and you can see closer to the curb. We can see the road actually shifting. So what I did is I told my men that I wanted them to be a big part of this. The Army Corps of Engineers did the bank work. And they did all the structural soil retainage on the river end. Restoring the road was our responsibility. We took on a big task. And so why I did that is because I wanted my men to work together as a team. I wanted them to understand that regardless of where you're working at and what you're working for, whether it be a sanitation laborer, whether it be a cook, whether it be anything, that they're capable of working together on a project like this and making it work.
Mhm.
When you take a project like this with 800 cubic yards of cement, You know, that's a big undertaking. So this is the beginning picture before we started any of the work. The utility poles had to be moved, the lines out of the way. We had to clear this whole road so the Army Corps could get in there and get their work done. This is my men pouring the road. Look how much concrete is in that road.
Wow.
So from all the way to the top, Scarsdale Road, down to Elm Street, we rebuilt that entire road.
So that was
This all-
after Sandy.
That was after Sandy,
Yeah, because you could see.
right after Sandy.
220, 1220, 212. Yeah,
Here, you can see the thickness of the concrete
yeah.
and all the structural work that gets in between that, the rebar and the mesh. And just you see it all around here, there's all rebar work in here. This is the mesh, this is the rebar work that was done on the side.
Mhm.
That's where the railing is right now. The railing gets mounted on this massive piece of concrete. This is a massive piece of concrete, so we don't lose our road anymore.
Mhm.
And this is holding our road back into the road.
Is that the property line from where Tuckahoe ends and Yonkers begins the river?
No, the property line is the middle of the river.
Hmm.
Wherever the river is, the middle of that river is our property line. Granted, it does go through a lot of Westchester County sites. They maintain a lot of that as well. Like the walking park,
Mhm.
that's maintained by Westchester County,
Right,
or where you guys live.
yeah.
So these are sanitation men. There's my mason, my foreman, and another highway laborer doing this work. This is the finished product.
Amazing.
Now they've only finished that disgusting building on the corner.
No, it's getting there. We're doing some work to it. Salt shed at DPW, you know. What are some of the environmental hazards of having an open salt shed? Many, right?
Mm.
Yeah, when it rains,
Yeah.
all the calcium chloride gets liquefied and goes into our storm system and
Yeah.
into our waterway. So we couldn't afford the funding to do this. So we did it ourselves. This is about a $500,000 project. So we purchased the canopy ourselves, we did all the work ourselves. And that's our canopy.
Wow.
But not only did we rebuild the canopy, we had to rebuild a wall to accommodate all the pressure,
Mhm.
all the moisture,
Sure.
damage that could be due from salt.
And you didn't get to use too much of it this winter, thank goodness.
What's that?
You didn't get to use too much of that salt this winter.
Yeah.
I think we're safe, yeah.
I love global warming. We make our own salt brine as well. Obviously, you've driven down the road, you have these white lines and everybody's like, what is this, right? Like somebody spewing some type of chemical out there. It's brine. You know, we put brine down before it snows every time.
Mhm.
And you can put this down 3 or 4 days before it even snows, and it will still work. It'll still be effective. We bought our own salt brine making machine, so we're now creating our own salt brine. You know, working together, hopefully with Broken Bow, Kristen, we want to take maybe some spent alcohol and mix it and create some brine. We have done it with, oh God, what do we use? Beet juice. We used beet juice 2 years ago. It was expensive at the time, but it did work. So we're looking to incorporate a lot. We're looking to really make this work and try some more natural products instead of just using salt or calcium chloride or anything else like that. So what the salt brine does, if people say to me, you know, why do you put it down? You know, years ago, historically, when you noticed it's going to snow, we would call the guys in a couple hours before so they could get ready. But now with salt brine being down, you've broken the bond between the road and the actual snowfall. So there's no rush for the men to come down now. So I could call them when it starts snowing or when it gets a little heavier. I try to monitor the snowfall. Sometimes I don't call them in at all. So it's a drastic savings all the way around, but most importantly, it's great for the environment. It prevents all that salt from being spread into the road. If you go into Yonkers and they're spreading salt, they just throw the salt out. And then what happens after you drive over it for a couple of times? It disperses over to the curbside, right? It's not in the middle anymore. So what we do is we also inject this in our trucks, all the trucks that go around and are spreading the salt. We're injecting the brine into that drop. So when it drops on the road, it creates a slurry mix. And the slurry mix stays in place instead of having that salt just running over to the curbside. Any beer for me this year?
Yeah.
Well,
So we store it in the salt brine, and this is actually a salt brine maker right here to the left. Oh, this is the photo I didn't want to show you. This was the day before we took that picture.
Go from that.
Yeah, we were at a party. I think we were at a wedding. So I like having these gatherings with my men.
That's nice.
LED lighting. We started this about 10 years ago. And how we started it was that as the lights went out, we would normally typically just replace the bulb. But we were changing the entire head. And 10 years, I think we just completed it 2022. We've converted everything over to LED in-house. We've done it all ourselves, and also the traffic signals. The red lights, the green lights, the yellow lights, everything has been converted to LED. So right now we're 100% LED.
Oh, so you do the traffic lights as well?
We do change the bulbs on them.
how much of a savings is that?
Excuse me?
How much of a savings is that for the village?
Ooh. I would say about maybe 300,000-400,000.
A year?
No, in total.
Oh, so what is the,
The savings as far as the usage,
yeah,
we probably cut it in half. So if it was 100,000, we were paying like 52. Then now prices are skyrocketing
Yeah,
again.
that's
So when
great,
you
yeah,
think you've done something that'll be a savings to everyone, then they hit you with another
yeah.
exorbitant fee.
Plus,
Or
I
rate
think,
hike.
plus I think they have a longer life too, right, Frank?
These?
The LEDs,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah,
you're not changing them as
No.
frequent.
no, it had like
That's another
15-year
savings.
life
Yeah.
span to them. Electric vehicle charging, this is something that we've just completed. We had a press release just 2 weeks ago. It was on Channel 4 News, it was on Channel 12 News. And some of the people that were here were also there that day. But we had great turnout. George Latimer spoke, and again, we have 34 ports in the entire village. So we have the Fisher Avenue parking lot. I took this photo, before I tell you where we have, I took this photo because I want you to see that, we have them in the parking lots here, but we also have them in the street at the curb.
Mhm.
So we have them at the Fisher Avenue parking lot. We have them at the Dante, Columbus Avenue intersection area there.
Yep.
We have them at the Lake Avenue parking lot. We have them at Depot Square. We have them at the Oak Street parking lot, Main Street parking lot. And we also have it at DPW now and also Village Hall. What's great about that, having it at DPW, we can now purchase vehicles that are electric.
Hmm.
We couldn't do that before. We had nowhere to plug them in.
Mhm.
So I just want to be clear, when you pull into like Depot Square,
Mhm.
you can't pull into a space that has an EV station, right? You should leave that clear and just use the port, because I think some of the meters are still,
Yeah, I'm trying
that's-
to work this out with the police department so we
Yeah.
can get it figured out. Right now, anybody's pulling into them or people are unsure.
yeah,
The people definitely don't want to get a ticket in Tuckahoe, so they're not parking there.
right. So just, I've been avoiding it, but I just wanted to.
Yeah,
be
we
sure.
should avoid them.
Yeah.
We want to set precedents to those that have electric vehicles,
Mhm.
especially those that pay for monthly parking. In a lot
Yeah.
of these parking lots, we want them to be able to charge. We're giving them precedence because they've done the right thing by purchasing an electric
Right.
vehicle.
And how long does it take approximately for a charge?
A full charge is about 3.5 hours.
Okay.
This is a stage 2. This is pretty quick.
And they have to pay for it.
Excuse me?
They have to pay for it.
Gotta pay for everything in Tuckahoe. Yeah, you gotta pay for the meter, you gotta pay for the charging, you get paid for the ticket too if you get one. Yeah,
What's it cost to charge? I mean,
I think it's 49 cents an hour.
That's it.
Nothing.
No.
Kilowatt hour.
Wow, that's nothing.
Not bad. It's not bad at all.
So I was thinking, how about the library? Can we have one there, or you want, maybe we can get one? Then I can get a car.
And this is Dante, Columbus.
Yep.
Section.
Just park down the street on Columbus.
I'm just bringing up, listen, there's a lot of intricacies in our department. We do a lot, so I'm kind of bouncing around.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
no,
But
it's
try to take it
amazing.
slowly. So if you have any questions, you can always ask me. This was always a great topic over the years when I brought this up.
Yes,
We were one of the first municipalities to convert a sanitation truck to run on total vegetable oil. So we would collect vegetable oil from the restaurants every Thursday. My men actually went out to collect the vegetable oils from some local restaurants on a Thursday. And they would drop it off as well. And we would process it in-house. So here we're going through the skimmer, it filters it, it processes it, it separates all the contaminants. And we did this all ourselves. And the reason we can't do it anymore is we purchased 2 new sanitation trucks. And with the 2 new sanitation trucks, they don't warrant the warranty if it's running on 100% vegetable oil. So they have now, since then, they have biofuel now. You've heard of biofuel.
Mhm.
Biofuel is a mixture of vegetable oil and diesel. So you could get that in 5%, 10%, 20%, 50%, and even 100%. But again, you know, a lot of these companies won't warranty it on 100%. So right now, depending on the weather, in the summer months, we're at 20%, winter months, 10% of biofuel. So we're still trying to do the right thing. I still have people dropping oil off to me. It's the elderly ladies that love to cook. They come by with the canola oil and here's the oil. I take it. What am I gonna do? Send it back home with it? So I take it from them.
I'm really happy.
So again, this is Furniture Share House. They're leaving. And this was a great experience for them. Because now when they drive by a piece of furniture that they know could be helpful to someone, they look at it as though they put it on a different level. They look at a different perspective. This is Fisher Avenue Park. Has anybody known about this park before we did all that work?
I never saw the before picture, right?
There was, that's Young Place. It's in between Young Place and Marbledale Road. Steve Eklund's house is over to the right here somewhere. But there was nothing we could do with this park because you couldn't plant anything on it. It was high in alkalinity and something else because of the stone, because of the quarry stone. It was high in lime and nothing would grow there. So we decided to try a native garden and it just took off. So this is what it looked like before. It was very bare. There was nothing to it. And this is it now.
Claire was
That's still what I
involved with
wanted
that. Yeah,
Very nice.
You can walk through it.
beautiful.
And there's a lot more vegetation there than it was when I took this picture. This is one of the beginning pictures that I've took. But we were doing all the landscaping, not the planting, but we did a lot of the landscaping, all the stonework,
Fence.
the fencing work, the irrigation work and all that prior to the installation of all the landscaping. But Claire and Jeff, you guys get involved with it every year. You maintain it. They're pulling weeds. I mean, kudos to all of you guys for maintaining this for me. This is a big undertaking. Needs a lot of maintaining over the years.
Sandy
Yeah,
Garrett.
Yep.
Hayes.
Anyway.
It's there, yeah.
it really turned out nice. You have a lot of benches in there. So
Amazing how
people
you
are
could
sitting
change, you
there.
could change something, but
Yeah. So many people are sitting there during the day. Stormwater management. This is a bad road.
Mhm.
That doesn't
Needs
pretty bad,
paving, Frank.
huh?
Needs paving.
I think we
Frank.
paved that already.
Where
But I
is
just
that?
wanted to show you, we have a bad road here somewhere.
Where is it?
Catch bases.
Oh,
All right, this is a topic that I know the Tesh committee myself And I've been trying to promote for many years. But I don't have the proper ear yet to talk to, but we're almost there. I think we're almost there. I would like for the county to take this on, but let me go into it just a little bit more. That's a typical catch basin head, right here. Anybody see anything wrong with that? Well, you could be creative.
How deep
You were
is
sleepwalking
that
one night, you fell into it.
Lots of bottles go in there, plastic bottles, trash,
So
leaves.
Trash, leaves,
Animals.
Baseballs,
and, yeah,
Baseballs.
Raccoons,
Yeah, raccoons.
Plastic
babies. Yeah,
babies, sure,
some of those are 6 to 8 inches.
wow.
Babies could crawl easily into them. Raccoons, right, you said all the right things. Raccoons, most importantly, is the debris, the floatable debris that get into that. So what I like to do is create this grill mesh area that prevents all the floatables from getting down into them. All the floatables that end up at the Pacific Ocean vortex, everybody hear about that? Where all these floatables are gathering. 95% of that comes from these catch basins. All right, so if everybody just did their part in the municipalities and covered these catch basins, all those floatables wouldn't go into our waterway. Right?
It's a simple solution.
It's pretty
so
amazing.
you can leave the existing part and just add that grid.
Well, this is the one you could purchase, and this is the one that we made. So you can make it, it serves the same purpose.
Right.
So $200 something versus, I don't know, maybe $50. So we have 400 catch basins in the village of Tuckahoe. Does become pretty pricey. And, you know, if we can't get a grant to install these, maybe we'll slowly just start fabricating them and installing them ourselves. But I like to put Tuckahoe on the grid as far as these are concerned, because I think it's really important. All of Jersey has these grids. And how it started is that it started in a high drug trafficking area. And what the drug dealers would do is when the cops would come around, they would take it and shove everything back in here. So cops wouldn't find it. So Jersey took this project on, only for the fact of hiding, not being able to hide the drugs.
Yeah.
But they're realizing now that all the floatables are not going into their waterway.
Smart.
That was the most important part of this whole
Right.
project.
an actual benefit of the war on drugs,
Excuse me?
an actual benefit of the war on drugs.
We want a little bit of both, right? War on drugs and war on floatables. Anybody have any questions on this?
Good.
Like cable, right?
It's rebar.
The rebar, it's just a piece of metal going across. Raccoons only need 3 or 4 inches to get through, you know that.
Yeah.
I think it's 4 inches. So they're not allowed to get through this at all. The walking path by the Bronx River, I'm sure you've seen many of these openings and like, what the hell is this? There are several of these that run along the Bronx River. They're called outfalls. All those catch basins are tied into one of these outfalls. So it's my job to go out there and monitor them every year, make sure there's no debris blocking them, make sure there's no smoke or fumes coming out of it, discoloration, anything that might be toxic. So I do inspect these every 6 months. And it's funny, you can tell they've been there for years.
That's the bridge. Yeah,
So-
the bridge.
Going back now, this is a medallion on each catch basin, and each medallion has a number associated with that particular catch basin. So what we're working on is a GPS mapping for the police department, fire department. So if there's ever a major spill here, they're able to tell what outfall it is at the Bronx River. So before the contaminated product, petroleum or whatever it might be, finds its way to our riverway, we were able to get a bladder, inflate it and hold back any contaminant that might be spilled into this catch basin. So that's what we're working on now. And that's our mapping. You can find this on our web. This is our mapping of our stormwater system. And it's color coded. So right now it's color coded. We're just trying to, now we're implementing the numbers of that particular catch basin to that color. So each color goes to one particular outflow. And this is something that Sandy had helped me with years ago. What is this? This is Erin's project, and she does this once or twice a year, the river sweep. And it's amazing how many people volunteer that day to help out. Children, families, adults that just happen to be walking by and end up grabbing a bag and picking up some debris. And this is what we basically do, you know, go through a lot of these areas, on a riverbank, goes over to the side. We collect a lot of floatables. I think we collect almost 400 pounds of floatables. You know what 400 pounds of floatables are? That's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Is this under Tuckahoe? You have responsible to clean this area?
No, I help, I assist, I give them the bags they need and all the equipment they need, the gloves.
If it gets, the county though will come if it gets in the middle of the river like this.
Yes.
Because it got so bad
I know.
that yeah,
It's a bad
that
storm.
they had to come and break that up. But as far as the regular cleanup, there's so much debris and you guys collect so much, you weigh it, right?
Yeah, we do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I found your daughter climbing into this.
Oh, yes. No, she was actually in the river with her waders.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, she loves it.
You know, we have a leaf blower law. That started in October 4th, 2010. Between June 1st and September 15th. Can't use motorized blowers. A lot of people don't know that.
Tell that to the gardeners. I did tell that to the gardeners, but they don't get it. That's the problem.
Well, you know, I have an issue with that because I can't, as DPW, do what I need to do with electric blowers. You know, it's impossible. So what do I do? Give everybody a broom? You know, so it's hard for me to enforce this. I would love to. But it's hard to say. You'll see my guys out there with blood. I mean, I have 14 parking lots. How do I clean them? It's very difficult for me.
Mhm.
So I wanted at the time, Mayor Fitz, to alter this just a little bit. Just change it up, you know, for DPW maybe.
Right.
Give us a
Is
concession.
the technology improving?
Excuse me?
Is the technology improving, the electric, compared to
They
2000?
have, yes and no. It's so funny because you could say that you don't want a gas blower, but yet they don't want particulate matter being blown around. So what's the answer? You know, if you have an electric blower, you're still blowing particulate matter
Yeah.
all over the place. But you're not using gas.
Mhm.
Maybe somebody will come up with a revolutionary bill.
I have to sit down with the board at some point, just kind of
Exactly.
get into this. I really haven't had a chance.
Right.
I have a gas blower. And I love it, but I know when the law is in effect, so I don't,
I like to fine tune this just a little bit more. It needs to be. You know, we have a tree ordinance. I've helped work on this years ago. Permits are required to take them down unless it's smaller than 10 inches in diameter. Trees less than 10 inches, no permit required. And trees greater than 10 inches, permit is required. Allow removal of only 2 trees per property, you know, unless you're having reconstruction work done. Where you're taking down, you're adding an addition, some trees are in the way.
Or if it's diseased and have to be taken down.
They can be taken down. I need to go out and inspect it. I inspect every tree. If there's a new development, a new home, I sit with the homeowner and I like to know, I like to see their landscape plan. I like to make sure that they're including this. All this law does, it gives me the opportunity to meet with those involved, the stakeholders involved, architect, engineers, homeowner, builder, to make sure that they're doing the right thing to plant new trees. They've taken trees down and I'll always take account of what's being taken down, but I make sure that they're putting back almost equivalent to what was there before. So it gives me the opportunity to now step in and speak to the stakeholders. And I'll have a say, because we have a tree ordinance. So really, does the 2 trees per family really matter? Sometimes, sometimes those trees are between property lines, so the 2 owners and neighboring owners don't know whose tree it is. So one neighbor could end up taking the tree down, the other guy could be like, that's my tree, what are you doing? So it also gives me the opportunity to go back and survey the trees. And I want their surveyor to tell me that's not their tree, or it is their tree, or to make sure I get consent from a neighbor, give it to me in writing.
Must be tough to enforce that, though. To hear the trees being taken down and who's to know if you have to get a permit to do that too.
To take a tree down?
Yeah,
Yeah. We most importantly want to make sure that the person taking it down is licensed and insured. Right? How many tree companies are out there that don't have licenses and insurance? You don't want this tree falling on your house. That's bigger than 10 inches. That could do some damage.
Yeah.
So that's all this does. This just gives us an opportunity to make it right. That's basically what I just said. We planted almost 100 trees this year so far. Yes, we are Tree City USA for 27 years. And we prune them, maintain them. We do these during the fall, winter months. I mean, this winter has been wild. So we've been doing a lot of pruning. Oh, yeah. My time up? Oh, if you could say, yeah.
Well, you've done it.
yeah, 5 minutes.
It's interesting, keep going.
I know.
You finding it interesting?
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
How much work you guys do,
Talk
you
about
know?
this again. Okay, true or false? I hope everybody has an answer for this. True or false?
Oh,
False? Where does it go? It doesn't go to landfill, it's false.
Mhm.
That's a myth. We take all of our recycling and household debris to the MRF station. The MRF is a material recovery facility, and it's by Stu Leonard's. You've probably been there. It's across 287, and you see these big blue trailers that are parked up along the facilities behind the dog pound. I think there's a dog pound there as well.
Can I mention something, Frank? That facility has a tour. And Barbara Needham, who's on our committee, and I went on a tour there. And it's really interesting.
It is.
And, you see the men working, picking out the garbage and sorting it and all
That's
this kind
good
of
to
stuff.
know.
Huh?
That's good to know.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to see.
So this is where everything gets separated. There were inspectors. The inspectors inspect every truck that's being dumped to make sure that they're not contaminating the load. Contaminating the load means that if we're picking up bottles and cans, you can't also pick up household debris. Because once they dump that into the facility, the inspector will inspect that. I ask the inspector to inspect these trucks. They think I'm crazy. But when I have to go to court and defend ourselves, I go, wait a minute. I'm asking these inspectors to inspect my truck. Why are you giving me a $200 fine?
Right.
Right, so they do work me. They haven't called me in the 17 years I've been here. No, they called me twice. I showed up with a suit and walked out with having to pay nothing. So they haven't called me since. But everything gets separated here. Everything but the yard waste. Yard waste being grass clippings. This is bottles and cans, cardboard, household debris. From there, the household debris gets taken to Charles Point. Charles Point is in Peekskill. This is a very rare area that it takes it to. We're very blessed to have this facility here. What they do is they burn to fuel. They burn for energy. And what they do is they burn all the waste and they supply power to 31,000 homes. in that upper Peekskill area. So everything that gets burnt there, you can picture a silo, right? The top of the silo will obviously be filtered. So they'll burn it. I think they burn 3,000 tons a day, which is a lot. That's a lot of weight. I think 3,000 tons. So that's what they burn daily to make up for this electrical loss that they need. What's happening is that Westchester County is recycling so well that we're also now taking waste from the Bronx and New York City. Because Bronx and New York City still go to landfill. So we're very fortunate that we're burning it for fuel. We don't want to tell everybody that we're burning it for fuel because nobody's going to recycle anymore. They're going to start throwing in bottles and cans and newspaper in it. Well, we're serving a purpose. We're heating 30,000 homes up in Peekskill. No, we made a product that's reusable. We still need to maintain that integrity. We need to maintain that mindful thought that everything is recyclable. We created garbage, we created something. We need to now find a place where it's useful. And we need to continue doing that. So I don't bring this up too much because I get the questions asked, like I just said, well, why are we recycling? We don't need to, but we do. We do.
Do you find that most people in the village do? The residents where you can see the boxes outside?
Most people recycle, yeah. I think they're doing a great job. Yeah, I think they're doing a fantastic job.
Even the apartment buildings?
Yeah. And they could use a little bit more help. It's just a little bit more complicated for them. Because, certain areas have a one-stop garbage recycling drop-off in these buildings, where a lot of others don't. They'll have recycling on one end, garbage on another. And they just make it very difficult for the tenants to get rid of their recycling and their garbage.
Not user friendly, yeah.
But that's Charles Point. Any questions on Charles Point? Yeah, so mixed load looks like any one of those where you're just throwing in contaminants, it's a contaminated load. If we have an apartment building that's contaminating our loads and mixing trash with recyclables, we just call the inspectors and they go right there and take care of it for us. They'll meet with the homeowners, the building owners, building management, to make sure that this doesn't happen again. So we need to tell them that it's contaminated load, otherwise we get a $200 fine. So we send OOP stickers out. OOP stickers say, sorry, but you've contaminated the load. You put something out on a day that's not recyclable or a day that's not garbage. I don't want you leaving it out. You need to take it back in. If you don't take it back in, you get a fine. I do not want garbage left out, period, especially on weekends. A lot of people that are moving out of their homes on a weekend.
Yeah.
So we'll drive around on a Friday to see who they are. We'll catch them as they're putting things out. And we make them take it back in. I don't know if that's cardboard or just plastic, but it looks like a cardboard picture, so I took it. All right, so cardboard is our biggest commodity, believe it or not. We make a lot of money on cardboard for recycling. We don't have what they call a single stream. If you go up north, they have a single stream where you can throw your cardboard in with your bottles and cans and
They're commingled.
yeah, we don't do that. And the reason we've stuck with separate streaming is because our products are more cleaner. We're selling cardboard at such a high number, it's keeping our waste costs down. They don't charge us to drop off recycling, Westchester County. They just charge us a very minimal fee of $30 a ton to get rid of garbage, because we're giving them a substantial amount of recycling products that they're making money on. So they're making a ton of money overseas with cardboard because we have a fine product that everybody wants. This is our compost facility. Has anybody ever been up there?
Where is it?
It's up a California road.
Oh.
Yeah, we shared this with Eastchester and Bronxville, and I think this was after one of the storms. It looks pretty bad. But what they do is they take all this and they move it around and they create mulch. Compost. They create compost with that.
So those aren't plastic bags.
That's a compostable product. And these are some of the interns that I had from the high school. I scared them that day. I told them I was gonna bury them in there. That's where all that hate was from. It's all from the previous interns.
I just saw a demonstration yesterday, and we had these long, like a foot long probe. And it was a thermometer,
Mhm.
and we stuck it into the pile, and it went up to 160 degrees. I don't realize that.
So is this where the food scraps go?
No, this is yard waste.
Okay,
That's what Eastchester composting facility does. They only do yard waste.
okay.
This is basically leaves, fall leaves. And you can see the truck in the background, a piece of machinery. It needs to be turned over constantly. Because you can see the heat that builds up on these piles. They do get really
Yeah.
hot.
cause of fire.
This is our e-waste container. Any e-waste, we share this with Bronxville, but this is handled by Westchester County. And you've probably heard over the years about this going overseas to China, and you can see pictures of them taking apart the components by a riverbank and dumping everything that was contaminated into the river. There's a lot of components that are dangerous, hard to handle. And so Westchester County took it upon themselves to make sure they collect all of it. So we fill this container, and Westchester County just picks it up once a week. That's all e-waste, computers, laptops, rechargeable batteries, phones. Metal, we make money on metal. You know, we collect metal every Thursday. We put it into a container. They pick it up, they weigh it, we get money back for it. So it's a win-win for us as well. So we really recycle everything. There's nothing that we leave behind. We try not to. Even plastic bags, there's a lot of containers that we have at the yard. Clothing, we're trying to take on clothing pickup, textile pickup. Can't do it quite yet. I can't do the amount of work that these guys have right now. Street sweeper is really important. This sweeper is important to us. It also has a vacuum system. That a vacuum system, you know, the old street sweepers just had the rotary mechanical
Mhm.
brushes, but this has a vacuum system. The reason we need the vacuum is for what? The pervious pavement, the parking lots. To make sure we get all the granules and everything that's in the pervious pavement. So it's able to breathe and have water still breaking through it. So all that waste from the street sweeper goes into a separate container. We spoke about this earlier. Street sweepings are contaminated. There's oils and contaminants in there. So what they do with this is they take it up to a site and they burn the contaminants out of it. So they're able to reuse what's ever remaining, whether it be dirt. That's how they get rid of a lot of contaminants in dirt and the dirt product. They'll burn it. They'll burn it, just burn the contaminants right out of it. All right, here's my favorite.
Me too.
All right, food scrap recycling. It's been 3 years now. We're very successful. We're weighing in at 770 tons this year. That's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight so far. And it's climbing about 10 tons per year.
Do the restaurants participate then too, or just the residents?
Apartments?
No, the restaurants. Do they?
Apartments and
participate?
restaurants, not quite yet. Because we don't know how to control that. Right now, they're picking up this product from our yard. So I don't know how to get someone else to their location to pick it up, unless they take it over to me, but I don't have the storage facility. But
About how many people are you, because I'm one of the pickups, how many residents, or, I know you have people dropping off too, but
it's amazing how many people just want to drop it off.
yeah.
Because self-rewarding, these people just
Mhm.
love to come by every day.
Mhm.
But we have about 100 pickups.
Okay,
And the thing, it's just hard to see these little containers behind parked cars,
Yeah,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I know, but there's no, we haven't started an apartment, so I usually bring it to
Hmm.
DPW.
That's what a lot of people that have been living in apartments have been doing. They're just taking them right over to us. But they fill every weekend. We come back and they're all filled.
It's wonderful.
And you can see everything that'll take, you know, fruits, vegetables, fish, shell food, shellfish, dairy products, bread, pasta, rice grains. It even takes bones. It's just the process that they use up in Ulster County, and that's where this goes. The process they use is amazing. You know, they'll have all the composting within 30 days. Site's controlled. And all it is air coming in from underneath it, going through it. And that's all that is. At a heated environment, you know, they are pretty warm, but it's warm because of the heat that it creates.
Well, where do you get compostable bags?
Where did he get them?
No, where do consumers buy compostable?
Oh,
bags?
at DPW.
Oh,
You can get them at
I
DPW.
just bought like 10 last
Yeah.
week.
10 roll.
10 rolls, yeah, because
And this
we
is
go
the kit.
through them pretty quickly.
10 rolls, wow.
And they're made of corn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're,
So we've added
biodegradable.
containers. We have like 5, 6 out there now.
oh, that's amazing. So that's a site?
Yeah,
Oh, that's great.
But after pumpkin season.
this is a location. This is David and I. We went down a location in Queens. They were doing this in a major thoroughfare area, right underneath an overpass. They were doing food scrap recycling, composting.
Wow.
We're looking to have this done here as well. I'm working with Westchester County at the Eastchester Compost Facility. And we're looking to create an area up there where we could have locals just go up there. I mean, locals being Bronxville, Eastchester,
Mhm.
and Tuckahoe. Deliver our food up there and just have someone up there now composting it. Because right now, Eastchester has a person up there manning and equipment to move
Right.
forage around.
Right.
So we're looking to have them also handle food scrap recycling.
And then if people want to get that soil,
Compost.
the compost, where would, do they have to wait for like DPW day to get that?
Yeah, it's in
Yeah.
Ulster County. We're looking for a site up in White Plains here, so until we get any local site,
Mhm.
Ulster County is like 2.5 hours away.
Right, right.
But I'm gonna make it a point, just like I did last year, to send the truck up there and take something back.
Mhm.
Residents do want it. Black gold,
Yeah, beautiful.
it's amazing. It's just, the nutrients in that are just amazing. And this is Michelle and Ron, who had helped us along the way from Scarsdale.
Yes.
They've helped us with the food scrap recycling. And they've been very
It's
instrumental.
amazing what they've done and they've
They
really
have.
influenced a lot of
They're now
people.
involved in Westchester County
Nice.
and getting local municipalities to food scrap recycle as well.
I think they went out to Long Island too. didn't
This is what happens. Any questions?